Mira Business FM, your daily guide to the markets, money, and more.
Mira Business FM, the morning drive. So, just a few minutes ago, we were talking to Jane Espente, and she is the World Chesve Ibrik Champion 2026, and she won that accolade at the World Coffee Summit, which was on in Dubai. It wrapped yesterday, and I mentioned that to David Mackenzie, who now joins me to talk about human resources, recruitment, how you find a job and all that really important stuff for our life. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. His eyes lit up. I know, it's an amazing thing. But you're a huge fan, aren't you?
I love coffee, and I love the taste of coffee, and I love the whole process of grinding and making coffee. But in our daily lives, we're too busy to do this stuff. And I think I can't wait to the day that I can get back and I can enjoy the process.
Okay, so it's not that difficult to do. Just if you want to get a really good machine and spend the time, part of it is you spend the money on a good machine, and then there's the ceremony of it. Really, you're making a cappuccino for somebody, and then you make one for yourself. You do one at a time, and it's 15 minutes out of your day. And when you're busy, I'm with you. It's difficult.
I've got an espresso, actually.
Have you?
And
a Nespresso?
Is that what they're called?
What, the pod?
Yeah, the pod thing. Really, because
they're okay.
Do you know what? They make nice coffee.
Yeah.
Espresso in the morning before the gym, and espresso after the gym.
Is that what you do? Does that kickstart you?
My heart needs it.
Your morning
5 o'clock.
That's your heart reboot.
Exactly.
Oh, the things we learn about you. So, David is you know what I've done, and I'm going to admit this to you, but every time you come in here, when you leave, you will have a different. There will be a different way of describing your position at Mackenzie Jones. So look forward to today.
Can't wait.
That's in about 50 minutes. But you're the big cheese. That's the first one.
Thank you.
At Mackenzie Jones. Nice to see you. Look, I sent you this, and I was reading a Khalees Times article, and very often it's, media articles, they're of the moment, but those are the things that people are talking about. So it's fair to do this. And your reply was, when I sent you the article, bit vanilla, but okay, I can do this.
I think you'd say that on air, but
I can't keep anything in. I think it's best to be honest.
Absolutely.
But the headline is this, and there's nothing really, I don't think this is startling in any way. So UAE jobs, 7 out of 10 employees plan to look for new roles in 2026. And you would kind of think 2/3 of people, that seems normal to me. Growing population in the Emirates, making it harder for job seekers, more candidates are competing for available positions. That seems very logical. And, anecdotally, I know that that's something that you would kind of agree with. That's
Absolutely.
where we are.
Yeah, we are. I mean, but there again, you could fast forward 5 years' time or rewind 5 years' time, the stats will be exactly the same. We come out of January, everyone's had a nice festive break, whichever, festive you support. And you come into your job that you've been doing for a couple of years, and there's a natural point where you go, oh, goodness me.
Yeah.
Time to start looking. It's a natural process a lot of people go through. I think as the weeks go on, they suddenly realise you just need to reboot your body a bit more because you've had time with the family, etc. You've now got to get back into work. Even I have the same thing. First week is quite hard.
It is. You've got to find the flow again, haven't you? You've got to find the routine.
And I
again.
love working. I love doing my job. Genuinely love working at Mackenzie Jones.
I always love it when you say that because I look at you and I'm looking for a dent.
No,
and
there is
isn't
none.
One. You do like it. You are infernally happy.
I know.
I'm not sure that it's good that you're here. To be absolutely
Somebody
honest.
called me annoyingly happy the other day, which I kind of took as a vague compliment.
Maybe it's the espresso in the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Every morning. But your contention would be, if I said to you, when's the best time to look for a job? I need your advice. Your advice is not when is the best time.
We discussed this before.
We have.
The analogy I always use is the marathon one. If you're training for a marathon, you don't do the marathon on day one. You don't do the marathon on week one, month one. You train for 12 months or 6 months, whatever time, and then you do the race. It's the same when you're doing your job search. You should constantly be looking for your new job. Now, it's a very passive way of doing it. You've got to start building your reputation on LinkedIn. You've got to connect with the right people on LinkedIn. You've got to go through a process where you start building your reputation on the social media and within your certain community so that when you are ready to look, somebody will probably have approached you already.
So if you're a person who says, I need to dust off my CV, need to update my CV, is your first thought, that should be ready now.
My
You
mate,
should
my
be
mate
able
did
to.
it the other day. He said to me, "I'm going to dust off my CV." I said, "Why has it got dust on it?"
Yeah, I thought that's where you'd go. I feel like I'm slightly scared to ask the question, but it's a good point, isn't it? Because somebody will say to me, could you do X podcast? Occasionally when that happens, could you send me some sample work? And I always think, oh, God, I've got to do this now.
But I
have
bet
to
you've
go
got
and
it
find
somewhere, haven't you?
I have it somewhere, but is it ready? Is it there? Is it available? Am I like, yeah, it'll be with you in 2 minutes?
But
I'm not that person.
In your profession, certainly, you've always got to be aware of what could happen. And the reality is, in your job life, unless you're working for yourself, there's always a situation where the management may change, the company direction may change, and you may be surplus to requirements.
Do you know something I
No,
don't?
I'm not talking about you. But you know what I mean? I look at myself, and I work for Mackenzie Jones.
Yes.
I'm a very conscious at some point I'm going to leave the company. Now, I may leave it because whoever buys us fires me, which is highly likely, or I get to a point where I don't want to work anymore. So I'm already looking, what do I do next? What's my next challenge? What's my next gig? What do I want to do? And I'm already thinking about that now, by the way. By the way, there are no plans to leave Mackenzie Jones, but if circumstances change, the market change, you've always got to start thinking ahead.
And that's the point, isn't it? It's that thinking ahead thing. Have you got something? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, and I know you're
You will at some point.
infernally happy with what you do. But is in the back of your mind? Is there well, I would like to do this.
Yes.
I'm thinking about this. So it's very much something that
It is, and it's so about 3 years ago, I realised that I run an executive recruitment firm, which has been here 20 years. We're very well known. We're a great business. I'm not saying that because I work there, but people are good. The clients love us, and it's excellent. But I realised that my business at some point is going to need to pivot, because what people in my business look for is continuity of revenue. And the problem with recruitment, some months are great, some months are bad. So we pivoted our business to become an RPO business, which is essentially we provide on-site recruitment services for clients. And they sit on-site with the client and they pay us a monthly amount rather than a one-off fee.
right.
So we get a lower amount, but it's for 12 months. So it all sort of works its way out. But what it means is, as a business now, my balance sheet is continually good,
Right.
rather than going massively brilliant, bad, massively brilliant. So I was already thinking in my mind a couple of years ago, how can I become a business that has continuity of revenue, which means we're more valuable as a company now?
Okay. How did that come to you? What made you start thinking that? What was it?
Tell you what I did?
Go on.
My balance sheet.
Was it really? Okay.
We're very profitable. There's no surprises. We're a very profitable business, but we can have months when we make millions and millions, and then other months we do zero. And I'm like, I don't want the stress of this happening. And my CFO, Jazz, who's worked with me for 11 years, is a great guy. He's my partner in the business. He's awesome. He said to me, David, how can we make this business have a continuous cash flow? What can we do? He's not a recruiter. And I said, look, I've got an idea, but it means we've got to completely retrofit our business. And there's a huge risk that it could go horribly wrong. And it did for a year. And he went, did you get this wrong? And I went, I don't think so, but I could have. But it's turned out to be brilliant.
But that's impressive, though, because how long had you been running the business until that point where you decided?
Good point, 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
So you were still at a point thinking, you're still at a point where you were ready to learn and to take a risk.
And
A lot of people wouldn't do that.
You've highlighted the best point of this whole conversation. I'm 50-ish.
Yeah, one of those, yeah.
And one of the things I've always tried to do is continue to learn and continue to listen to other people, because I don't have all the answers. Certainly in recruitment, I don't. And people look to me for the answers. So I learn a lot. Manuri, my grad, my intern, I learned a lot off her last year, because she comes from looking at my business from a completely different perspective. I've got a new lady on board who's my operations director called Hardeep. She's just come on board, very smart lady. She's come on board and she's just assessed my business over the last 3 months. And she's come up with some ideas that, quite frankly, I had no idea about.
Really?
And they're really good. And part of me goes, no, we're doing this. These are the reasons why. And part of me's gone in my head, don't say that. Just listen to her and understand why she's saying that. And the 3 things she talked about, genius.
Really?
And I didn't think of them.
So annoying.
So frustrating.
But that's great. And that, being open to to learning, being open to a new job. I'm going to bring this full circle round now because we did go slightly off the topic, but being ready to accept the fact that your next move may be round the corner. It may be right in front of you.
Yeah.
You may just not be seeing it.
You
You've
may
got to
not
be ready for that.
You may not be aware of it. And I think
Yeah.
if you talk to anybody that gets made redundant or is let go, the biggest thing they have is shock. Why did they let me go? But I didn't do anything wrong. You've got to be in a situation, you understand that businesses go through cycles. And at some point, you're not going to be needed any longer because either you haven't made yourself valuable, your skills aren't right for the new company, or you've probably been there too long.
Okay. See, I've been through that, and
Yeah.
you're right in every way. I remember thinking, but you've kept that person, and they're not.
Yeah.
So what is going on here? And it's a very hard thing to do. So to preempt that, it's just to be ready to
Always be ready.
take the next opportunity.
It's like if you get divorced, it's a shock, but you probably knew it was going to happen months and months before. I'm assuming, by the way, I'm not divorced. I'm still happily married. But I think my wife's listening now. She goes, maybe not. But the whole point is
She's on the phone.
you have to. Oh, by the way, she's going to make you that broken biscuit cake. She asked me to remind you.
Now then.
So do you want us to explain the story about this? This is like 15 years ago, isn't it?
Okay, but you need to. Yeah. Okay.
Another
the
time.
floor is yours.
So yes, 15 years ago when we were doing Drive Live with Alex, Supercar Blondie.
That's right.
My wife used to make broken biscuit cake for Tim, and he absolutely loves it.
I can't even describe it. How does she make it?
Can't tell you because it's a Swedish speciality.
It's a Swedish thing, isn't it?
Anyway, digressing. So when you look at your career, you've got to always be prepared for something that may happen. And the problem is everyone sort of is shocked by being made redundant or shocked by being let go.
Sure.
If you look at the signs, you will know it's going to happen, whether the company's changing direction. So rather than wait to that point, think about what can I do next? If this happens, what could I do? What do I need to prepare myself for? Do I need to do more courses? Do I need to engage with different people? How do I get advice? How do I get a mentor? All these sorts of things.
The thing, though, with that is you have to admit to yourself that, I think when I was made redundant, for example, this is a while ago, but there probably were signs, and I probably knew. I didn't. You never absolutely know, but it kind of wasn't the biggest of surprises. Maybe it was personal, maybe it wasn't. I'll never know. But you have to admit that to yourself.
Yeah, it's difficult.
That's a very hard thing to do because that's it's a raw feeling.
And then when I look at my career today, I've had a really good career. I've had some ups and downs like everyone. I've had the same sort of career. I've only had 3 jobs. Michael Page, Monster, and now Mackenzie Jones. But I'm very conscious that Mackenzie Jones may become part of a different company one day. And at some point, that owner will look at me and go, is he worth keeping? So I have to look at myself and go, right, how do I make myself still relevant so that somebody that acquires us or buys into us still thinks I'm a valuable asset? It's a very interesting thing to think about.
It is, and it's a lot more than buying yourself a pair of Nike high tops, trying to fit in with the kids, isn't it? And getting on Instagram.
Well,
there's more to it.
But there may be a point where you have to, in your career, realize you're not right for that company anymore. Yeah. So as soon as you admit that to yourself, you then start planning for what your next steps will be, rather than let the company dictate that for you.
So what would you be doing now if... not really advice, but what would you be doing if you felt in your position that there were maybe some rumblings that you weren't right? What would your first step be? If you, I don't know, would it be trying to become more digitally forward? Would it be posting more?
In my particular career now?
In your, take you as the example.
So example, if I'm an employee of a company now and I feel there are rumblings going, first of all, I'd engage with my line manager and go, look, I sense this is happening. Any insights? They might go, no, you're all good.
You do that because a lot of people wouldn't want to.
I think you have to because you never know what they might go. Look, yes, things are happening, but you're safe. Don't worry about it. But what I would do then is go, right. So my career as a recruiter, I'm good at doing this. So if I get let go tomorrow from Mackenzie Jones, what would I do? I know exactly what I would do tomorrow. I know exactly the process I would go through. I know I would call my key clients and re-engage with them. I'd probably go out by myself and do it as David Mackenzie. I know the researcher I'd take for my business because she's worked with me for years.
Okay.
And I know the key people I'd want to work with who are in my industry.
Would your researcher want to move with you?
I don't know. It's a good point. Well, she will now. Now I've announced it on there.
She hasn't got a choice now, has she?
Well, I don't know. Even if she isn't, I know the type of person I want.
Right.
But my bit, I wouldn't set up another company. I would just do it by myself because I've done the big company thing. I've done the MD bit. I want to be very client facing, and what I would do, I'd focus in Saudi. I'd probably move to Saudi.
Okay. And the point about all of this is your focus. You're ready to face it.
Preparation.
You've thought this through, haven't you?
But in my case, it's probably never going to happen. So if you look at as an employee, you've always got to be prepared that sometime in your lifespan as an employee, you will be let go.
Yes.
To mitigate that sense of loss and anger and angst that you get from having that process, which is a normal process. If you've got something you're going to do next, you've got a plan, it mitigates all of that stuff.
It also kind of hyper-focuses you, I think, because you then have to go and do something else. And in my case, my choice was there isn't really anything else like that. And I kind of have to do what I'm in the back of my mind I kind of wanted to do. So
there you go.
It made me do it, which is
But you may have come to that conclusion way before what happened. But the difficulty is taking that step to go solo is a very difficult one. If somebody had approached you in that process and given you that ideal job, the one you've already thought about, you would have moved, wouldn't you?
More than likely, yeah. Yeah, the jump before you push kind of thing, I suppose.
So be very clear. If somebody approaches you about an idea, you know what you want to do in your career.
All right, then. That's good advice, I think. I mean, this all comes from, this is all kind of round-robin stuff. What I want to get to is tips to help people in a job search. But the first point is very clear, that it isn't really about, or it shouldn't be about, I'll dust off my CV, now I need to look for a job. It should always be that you're prepared for the next move. Yeah. And that's not to say, is it, that you're mercenary?
No, I mean,
in any way.
I make a point. I call my senior HR people. I call them a couple of times a year, just as an update call. And often they go, look, things are going well, but if this does come up, please give me a call. So I know in my mind, I've got my 20 top people. I know if that job comes up, I'll call Ethel.
Sorry, just let me stop you there. For some reason, if you've just switched on, you've never heard David before. Ethel is a very popular name in the David vocabulary of names.
I don't know why.
Ethel's always there near.
It's like a Victorian character.
It is.
But my point is, I already know who I'd be calling for those roles.
Yeah.
And so that means that individual carries on doing the job, but they've got a passive person as a recruiter always looking for them.
Got you. Okay, so that's what we're talking about this morning. 7 out of 10, 72% of UAE employees plan to look for a new job in 2026. The reasons behind this, mainly competition growing, hiring is more complex. It's a new LinkedIn survey that this article kind of stems from. It's harder to find a job than ever. There is increased competition. Do you know what I thought was interesting? We'll go to the news in a second, but I wanted to just bring this up with you. In addition to this, so 7 out of 10 people are going to look for a new job.
Yeah.
Also, 74% of UAE workers say they're happy in their current jobs. I know, and
doesn't work.
That doesn't really sit side by side. The thing is, it's such a competitive job market. I think there's also a thinking with people that maybe I should be looking. Maybe I should be pushing myself.
My friend's become a manager. I want that job title.
Yeah.
But when you look for a job, understand why you're looking. It's not because your friend has got a new job title. It's not because they got more money than you. It should be because you're not happy in your job. You're not motivated. You're not driven. You don't like your manager. You don't like the culture. Those are the things you should look at. Look at yourself. Don't look at your friends.
It's good advice, which is why David Mackenzie is here. David's from Mackenzie Jones, the big cheese, as I said, and there is another way of phrasing that coming up a little bit later, as I have promised. This is Mirror Business FM. We're going to be delving slightly deeper into when should you look for a job in the next half an hour. because apparently 7 out of 10 UAE job seekers, UAE residents are going to be looking for a new job this year. That's the headline. It was a Khaleej Times headline. It comes from a LinkedIn survey. That's the topic this morning. So I went to AI because
Of course you
I'm
did.
down with the kids. Here's what AI told me when I typed, when should I look for a job? Your contention is always be ready, always
Yes.
be looking. The best times, apparently, typically January and February,
Yeah.
and September and October. Hiring activity tends to peak in September and October. Does that mean?
But yeah, absolutely. I agree with it. But that's driven by sentiment. That's driven by, in January, everyone's looking.
Yeah.
And in October, people are looking because they're coming to the end of the year. The other time that we get a lot of people resigning is March, bonus time. So with the banks here, the bonuses are typically paid in March.
Makes sense.
So you're getting a lot of people leaving then.
Okay. So January, February, ideal for job seekers because many companies have new hiring budgets that go into effect at the start of the year. I said that to you last year, and you were like, okay.
Yeah, but also we've got Ramadan coming up, and typically everyone
Soon, isn't it?
says that's a quiet period for looking for a job. Absolutely not. It's one of our busiest periods. Summer's quiet for us.
Really?
Yeah, because Ramadan, people have more time to do stuff because they typically after like 9 o'clock after suhoor, they often will call people and have a chat with them, meet with them. It's a more sociable time.
okay.
People are a lot more relaxed and a bit more. I think you feel less pressurized in the work environment during Ramadan.
Do you find that after this kind of the first week of the year, because people are kind of back and they're getting in the flow, in the last sort of week or two, that if hiring managers are back, there's more focus on filling positions? Is that okay? Because
we're busy now.
That's what AI told me.
Yeah, AI is correct.
It's just so good.
But yeah, I think we're busy now. But the first week we weren't. Over Christmas, I give my guys the whole 2 weeks off because nothing happens.
Yeah.
And I think the now up until the beginning of Ramadan will be really busy for us, and then it'll go slightly quieter in terms of offers being made. Typically, not many offers are made during Ramadan.
Okay.
People typically start after Ramadan.
All right then. So after the summer, let's look at the September and October quickly. This is what it told me again. I'm so reliant on Google. Companies ramp up hiring again before the holiday season. This period, September, October, is another good time to apply for jobs, as many organisations are looking to finalise their teams before the end of the year, which is logical to me.
But December's a dead month.
Right, okay. So
People
September,
don't hire in
October's the
December
lead-up.
because
Right.
you've got a shorter month. You've got festivities for certain people for the Christmas break. And typically people start to relax towards the end of the year because it's been a tough year. December, after about the 15th December, nothing really happens.
Okay. Now, this is not to say you can't look for a job whenever you like, and you should be doing it according to you. So let's put January, February, and September, October aside and look at how you could be helped in your job search. And I've got a number of kind of topics that I wanted to put to you, your opinion. You haven't seen this, so it'll be interesting to see what you say. First thing was meet the moment. Okay. So the job market is changing fast. It's important to be ready and take action, which is exactly what you've said. So meeting the moment is looking at the trends in your industry and considering what you want to do in your next job. Look at which skills are going to help you reach that goal and start to take steps to build. If you're not building the skills, at least momentum, confidence, and building towards attaining those.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, you're future planning, aren't you?
Exactly.
You mentioned, I think before, if you're a marketeer now and you haven't got digital experience, you know that at some point your job is going to cease to exist.
Well, it has probably ceased.
Sorry,
past tense. Exactly. No, you're right.
You should have done digital before. So in recruitment, if you're not utilizing AI at the moment or understanding the uses of AI, you're in a year, 18 months' time, you're going to be so far behind the curve.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that was my next point, actually, here. So you preempted it beautifully.
AI.
Get comfortable with AI.
Yes.
Because it affects so much of looking for jobs. So openings, for example, being screened by recruiters, preparing for interviews. Really good for that.
You can use ChatGPT, Copilot, or DeepSeek.
Yeah.
You can literally type into DeepSeek, I'm going for an interview tomorrow, a marketing director's job. What are the key things in the industry at the moment would be good to bring up in the interview? you will be amazed what comes up.
Really?
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we don't use AI to screen candidates. We use AI to prompt candidates before interviews. This is what you should be doing. If I get a job description from a client, I'll run it through DeepSeek, and it comes out. These are the types of candidates that are perfect for this job.
See, there'll be people listening to you there, and you know what it's like. People thinking, "Oh, that's just really lazy. She should know all that stuff."
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
why?
yeah.
But my point, I have a bit of an issue with that. I use AI to prepare interviews, but I don't use AI to set questions.
Yep.
I don't really set questions for you anyway, because you wouldn't stick to them.
No,
but you know what I mean.
absolutely.
But I need to cover certain things. And
Yeah.
AI to me is a tool that helps me avoid missing obvious points that I might just overlook, And I would contend that that's probably what you're doing.
Exactly.
Really.
My job, recruitment consultants will. Everyone says AI is going to take over what recruitment does. They're not. What it's going to take over is the acquisition or finding candidates. Because we use bots to screen databases to find talent.
Yeah.
We give them
Yeah.
key criteria. They go off and they find them in their magical way and bring them back to us. My job is to assess and select. My 20 years experience as a recruiter is to assess whether, Tim, you are right to run a radio show.
Your 20 years has told you. In fact, don't even go there, because I don't want that answer.
But you know what I mean?
I do.
The whole point about me is I can look at you and go, you're going to culturally fit with my client because I know my client really well. I know what they're like as people. You fit. AI is not going to do that at the moment.
It's not, and actually, that's another really good point. And this is kind of a side topic, but fit is such an important thing. But it's such a human thing.
Absolutely. And also, the problem with clients, they often recruit in their own image.
Right.
Our job is to try and say to them, where are you weak? Weak is probably the wrong word. Where do you need help? Where do you think you need to bolster your experience as a company? What do you need? What sort of characters do you have in your business? Let me interview your top performers. Let me interview your worst performers. I get a feel then what the culture of that organization's like. So when I get a brief, I know exactly what I'm looking for, as in culture.
Do you do that? Do you say, can I interview your top performer and your worst performer? Okay, so I mean that's pretty stark. People know exactly.
Well, they don't know I'm interviewing because they're the worst performer. They just know that a recruiter's interviewing them because they're a valued employee.
No, but in the organisation, up the chain.
Oh, yeah. So I get to see the worst and the bad.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that.
And actually, sometimes clients use that for me to give them a different perspective of what could be their lowest performer. And often I've gone and said, actually, I think they're really good. I think the problem is a lot of companies, if you work with somebody day in, day out for years, you form an opinion. You often need an external party to assess whether that opinion's right or not.
Yeah, this is true. Okay, right. Next thing in this list of kind of tips to help, and you've kind of already answered this, but keeping your profile fresh is not something that it shouldn't be about refreshing, should it? It should be something that you do on an ongoing basis. If you you achieve something, add it to your CV if it's appropriate. It's not just, as we've said, dusting that thing off every.
Well, I tell you what way you can use AI. So you have your CV, which is a standard CV you've had for a bit of time. Write a separate thing about your new experience.
Okay.
Get them to merge the documents together.
Okay, but spend the time making sure they merge in a human fashion.
Well, that's the key thing, is making it human. But remember, CV is about accomplishments. It's not about narrative sometimes. It's I've sold X amount, I've increased it by 20%. You can put all those stats in there. AI will merge two documents together.
Okay.
And make it. And what you can then do is on your DeepSeek or your Copilot, you've got your CV there. Anytime you do something good, just jot it down, merge it.
Okay. Let's look at CV in a little bit more detail. I don't want to get into a whole CV conversation, the photo not, all of that. But it's clearly very, I know, it's clearly really important that because employers are going to look at this. So if it's on LinkedIn, that's something that's going to be examined. So making sure your skills are up to date, your experience is up to date. And when I say up to date, that the dates match as well. I guess that's kind of important.
Yeah.
In case you've got you're sending out a different document. Verify your workplace. Build trust, so that that all helps you. I think that kind of helps you stand out. I think.
Yeah, I mean, employers. So when employers advertise, if they don't use a recruitment company, they'll put an advert on LinkedIn, and what they do, they go through the process of looking at the applications. They often don't look at the CVs in totality. What they do is they go, right, I've got David Mackenzie here. He's got 20 years recruitment. He fits the brief. They go straight onto LinkedIn. What's he been sharing? What's he been commenting on? What does his CV look like? Does it match with his offline CV?
Yeah.
What are his interests? It's really important that you bring to life your LinkedIn profile.
More than ever. So, mark your top choice job. Okay, so because this is a LinkedIn survey, lots of this refers back to LinkedIn, but it is a critical thing to use, I think. So with LinkedIn Premium, you can mark a job as your top choice when you apply through Easy Apply. I didn't know this, but what does that show recruiters? Does it show them that you're really interested?
Also, what it does,
Or
it's the... Sorry, forgive me, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. Or is it just, I'll tick that box?
No, so what it does, LinkedIn's algorithm means that if you put in, I want to be I like a marketing manager job, LinkedIn will fire marketing manager jobs to you.
Yeah.
So every day you'll get, these are the marketing manager jobs come up, these are the ones that suit your profile. So it's their AI way of pushing content and applications towards you.
Okay, because the stats here are the top choice, which is, this checkbox that you can tick, makes it 43% more likely you'll get a message from a recruiter.
Yeah. I mean,
that's right.
I'm trying to think.
I'm checking this because I have absolutely no idea if these are right.
My researcher, she has about 10 different searches that are constantly searching for people, like HR director. So at the moment, we always want compensation and benefits. They're the people who do the pay and stuff. Yep. Rewards directors. We're constantly searching. So anytime somebody uploads a new CV onto there, it fires it to us. So that's our way of constantly keeping a view of the market. If you're the candidate, you should put there, there's a thing on LinkedIn you can put open to opportunities. It doesn't put the green thing around your picture. It just means that your profile is then open to recruiters. Because when we do a search, it goes 81% of your search are open to ideas. These are the top 10%. And if you've done that, you want compensation benefits director, you put your CV on there. I can then see this person is open to conversation. They are the ones we go and speak to first.
Okay, and what about the ones with the open to work thing, which is there constantly? What do you think of that? I had a feeling.
Yeah, there's two things. I mean, the problem with companies these days, they've got so much choice. As soon as they see that, my personal view, may not be Mackenzie Jones's view, is that it shows you just need a job. And that can strike me as sometimes clients use that as an advantage to give you a lower salary. Okay. Personally, I advise my clients not to do it, my candidates not to do it.
What if you're a freelancer? Should you do it then if you're a freelancer?
Absolutely.
You absolutely should.
I think freelancers are in a unique situation here because we are looking more and more for freelancers. So my RPO business, which has 30-odd people in, we have a number of freelancers who work in that. We found them through LinkedIn, through the Open to Work.
Okay. All right then.
And they're great. I mean, Crystal, one of my ladies, she works for us a couple of weeks, goes home, works for a couple of weeks, goes home. She's constantly employed by us.
All right then. So what we've got so far is this: meet the moment. Get comfortable with AI in your job search. Very, very important. Keep your profile fresh. Don't just dust it off every while. Mark your top choice job. And then it's this question of how you lean on your network, because that's incredibly valuable.
That is the most valuable thing, especially if you've got tenure here. If you've got anywhere above 5 years here, you will have built, if you've done your search properly, you will have built a community that understands who you are and your value.
And I think a lot of people, and this is kind of across the board, I think, you've got the person who will write to anybody at any point, brass neck, to use a phrase that my wife uses. I'm not really sure what it means, but it's basically you're a little bit,
Pushy.
Bit pushy, bit upfront, and you'll fire after anybody. But lots of people just think, well, I can't really ask for that. I shouldn't really be asking for. How do you counter that with? I suppose that's a shyer person, a more reserved.
Yeah, if you're more introvert, I think what
Yeah.
you have to do is you have to be very targeted.
Okay.
Don't just blanket, because I get blanket emails. Hi, so and so's recommended you. Can you look at my CV? And I got one the other day, really good email, and he said, you've been recommended by X person who I know very well. They think I'm good because of these reasons. I'm currently in this current role. I'm looking for this. I understand you might be looking for this person. Can we catch up? Very short, to the point. And I messaged him saying, actually, I'd love to catch up. Unfortunately, we've now filled that role, but I'd like to have a conversation with you because we will have these roles coming up in the future.
All right then. So get out there and do
make
it.
Make it targeted. What you can do, if you're an introvert, write to them first. You can send it through LinkedIn. If you can get their email address, send it to their email address.
Mm-hmm.
Don't WhatsApp them unless you know them. Sending a WhatsApp message to somebody you don't know, and this is my British mentality, I always shy away from that because I feel that's a bit too pushy.
Okay, it's pretty direct, isn't it?
But if I know you, and if I was trying to target, say, Alex, I go, hi Alex, I know Tim very well. He's messaged me your number. I hope it's okay if I WhatsApp you. That will be fine. But if I don't know you from Adam and I just go, hi Alex, I'm David. I'm really keen to work for whatever. I'm pretty sure she'd delete that.
I was pretty sure she'd delete it anyway.
Yeah, so me and you in one sentence.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so fair point. Where are you on sending voice messages?
No,
on WhatsApp?
no, please
even,
don't
even
do
with
that.
the new transcribe feature where
No,
you don't have to really
stop.
bother with it?
Just don't. I mean, people. There's a point, and you've raised a really good point. I'm really busy constantly. I have lots of people trying to get hold of me. The ones that get hold of me are the ones that are directly relevant for what I can help them for and my clients. That's how I base it. So out of the 100, I'll probably only have 10 that are relevant for me. I can't go back to everyone. It's a fact. There's too many people out there. You send me a voice note and I don't know you, I'm not going to listen to it, and I'm probably going to delete it.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is send me an email. If I don't respond to that, send a WhatsApp saying, hi David, I'm really sorry to chase you. Tim has recommended me. I'm friends with him. Can we possibly catch up? I will then come back to you. If you send me a voicemail, I'm probably not going to listen to it because I don't know if I'll show you my WhatsApps in a minute. I've got 420 that are unread.
That would drive me insane. Just the number of little green dots by the side. It must be.
The problem is every candidate WhatsApps me, and I feel really bad because I want to get back to everyone, but I just physically don't have enough time in the day, and I have to do a job.
Yeah.
So you have to make it as relevant as possible for me to come back to you, and it's the same with clients. If you're not relevant for that client, the easy apply is a terrible thing, by the way, on LinkedIn, because everyone just applies. That's why we get 800 replies to every job advert.
I was waiting for you to bring that out again. It's a bit like yesterday we were
LinkedIn
talking
are going
to
to cancel me.
an automotive guy, and he got AI twice in the conversation. So we congratulated him. But it is a good point because it is too easy. But this is about. Oh, okay.
There's so many. There's just so many on there. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
And most of them are people that are not relevant for me, that aren't right.
Yeah.
But when I get a good one, like I got one from a guy called Charlie yesterday, he knew somebody I know, he was referred. He knew what I was looking for. He was very polite and concise. It wasn't a rambling thing, and said, look, if I'm relevant, please give me a call. If I'm not, no problem at all. Sorry to waste your time. Nice, polite message.
All right. Again, good advice, I think. What was the last thing in here I wanted to bring up with you? Other considerations when it comes to looking for a job. What have we got? 7 minutes to go through these. Think about, and this is about when people are hiring and how they hire and the cycle under which they hire. But think about the industry that you're in. If it's in a specific sector, i.e., I don't know, construction cycles, for example. It's the first thing off the top of my head. Different industries may have different cycles.
Yes.
So academic institutions, educational institutions would offer higher, March to May. They're looking at the next year in September. Think about that as well. That's important, isn't it? Because again, and it goes back to your point just now, you're kind of wasting somebody's time if they just hired for a new academic year.
Absolutely. Well, if you applied for a job in September to a school, you're done. They've done everything, haven't they?
Generally speaking, I mean, there may be a couple of people that don't turn up, I suppose, but it's
so Dubai, that isn't it? Just don't rock up.
I know that it's happened, but I mean, you're not going to be in luck most of the time.
The thing is, you're doing your day-to-day job. Your job search is on top of that, and your life's on top of that. So what you have to do is the time you spent contacting people has to be relevant, has to be useful for you. Don't just blat out loads of messages to people because it comes across as insincere and not targeted.
I know this whole hour for you is probably a little bit vanilla, but I kind of think, and I'm listening to what you're saying and trying to take everything on board, but it's kind of important because as much as anything, when it comes to this, it always strikes me that if you're in a job for a while and you're kind of starting to feel like, maybe it's time, maybe I should be moving on, it's good to reiterate things like these because lots of this is there's no brain surgery.
I love talking about it. I love talking about it.
No, I know you do.
Because I really believe everyone can help themselves. Everyone can. So, example, one of the things you pointed out there, every year you should have a career checkup with somebody, with a recruiter or with a friend. Right, this is where I am in my career. This is what I'm doing at the moment. This is what I want to do. Just a bit of a sense check.
Yeah, and it may be that goes absolutely nowhere, and you're in the right position.
Often does. Yeah.
Then why not? Okay. The other thing was this, and I think this is kind of a good way to end because if you're at a point where you're thinking, you've got to think about yourself, I think, and kind of take yourself outside of the commitment that you have to the company, to the cause, to the money, to the life that you lead, and all that. Think about yourself and where you are, because if you feel unappreciated, or you feel overworked, or you feel at work that there's a mask on, you're not really being yourself. It kind of strikes me that might be a good time to rethink the priorities of where you are.
Before you do that, talk to somebody.
First of all, absolutely.
But you are right. There's a point in your life, generally, where you get to a point where you go, I'm just doing this because it's expected of me. I want to do something different. I want to be this. There was a really good story about this Japanese guy. He was a salaryman in Tokyo, worked for Mitsubishi for like 25 years. He wanted to be a garage DJ. He was like 55 years old.
How cool is that?
And he never got round to it until he got cancer.
Okay.
He got cancer, recovered, and he went, right, no. He's now in Japan, one of the biggest DJs in Japan. He's 55 years old.
Wow.
Because the problem is you can always put stuff off, but sometimes you need to face up to what you really want to do. Now, it may not be possible for you to do that, but you've got to look at yourself in a couple of years or by the time you retire and go, did I do everything to satisfy my career, myself, my worth, everything? If you can answer that 80%, you're doing pretty well in life.
Okay. But again, and I suppose this is kind of where we finish here, it's kind of being honest with yourself, isn't it? And facing up to the fact that I need to do what's right for me, but I need to be able to leave myself out of situations that aren't right, and it's really hard to do.
Difficult.
That, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's often admitting you're not right for the job going forwards, or the company's not right for you, but you still love working there.
Yeah.
In many ways, always leave a company when you're happy.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the Fawlty Towers thing, isn't it? It's the so you do leave on a high. Do 6 episodes. Okay, I've got 6 more. I haven't really got anything
after that.
Do
you remember Schitt's Creek?
I do, yeah. Right, thanks for bringing that up.
David. So Schitt's Creek was brilliant because they did 2 seasons and he went, that's it, no more. And everyone loved it, right to the end. Entourage, you remember Entourage?
I do, yeah.
Season 7, rubbish.
Yeah, okay. So The Office, I would contend, 2 seasons, a Christmas special. That's kind of Ricky Gervais's thing. But there's a lesson from all of this. We're kind of taking this a little bit lightly, but if you're
Yeah.
at a point where you think, I've been in a couple of jobs, and I had one job, and this is a long time ago, I wrote a resignation letter, and I had it under my keyboard for about probably a year.
Wow.
And then it all went
Why
absolutely
didn't you
nuts,
resign?
and I had to go. I felt like I felt a responsibility to it. I felt like I'd put a lot into it. I was there for a long time, 11 years, and
Wow.
I should have left 2 years before I did.
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Nobody goes, I wish I'd stayed longer. Everyone says, I wish I'd left earlier. So
Exactly right.
you need to get another person's advice on that, a recruiter, a friend, a family friend, to give you a sense check every year. Like when you take your car into Tazwheel, they check, it's not guffing out horrible toxins, whatever. Same with your recruitment. Get a sense check once a year.
It's absolutely right. Okay, I'm with you. Look, I appreciate that. When to look for a job, how to do it, a few tips on that could perhaps help. David Mackenzie is the alpha male,
Oh,
El Grande Queso at Mackenzie Jones. How is that?
I love that.
Yeah, I thought
That's made my ego just skyrocket.
I know. I can see your head growing as well.
Glowing now.
Glowing indeed. Always enjoy it. Thanks for coming.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Mirror Business FM. This is the Morning Drive.